Concrete, welcome to all ball. Format unique, all access for all y'all. What the spill like back full of elite athletes that wanna teach and it speaks to the streets, so it feel right. Marcus Liberty, a legend on and off the court to give you what you need. Robert Reed is your co-host. Go. Yeah. Like and subscribe and follow like a crossover. Never know what might fall through this bitch tomorrow. So all ball Chicago. All ball Chicago. All ball Chicago. All I know is all ball Chicago. All ball Chicago. All ball Chicago. All ball Chicago. All I know is all ball Chicago.
Welcome to another edition of All Ball Chicago. I'm your co-host, Robert Bobby Reed, and I got the legend, the NBA veteran, the McDonald All-American, your host, Marcus Liberty in the building. What's up, Marcus?
What's up, my beautiful people?
What's going on, Marcus? And we got a special guest coming on today. He a proven NBA legend. He did his thing all over the city of Chicago. Man, we love him to death, man. His son doing his thing right now. He's one of the best shooters. He told me he's better than him. Give it up to Sam Mack, man. Sam Mack joining us today, man. What's going on with it? Sam Mizak.
What's going on? What y'all doing?
Man,
That's
we
chilling,
good.
man.
We are good.
Liv, what up, Doc?
What's up, Sammy Mackey? What's the dilly? What's the dilly?
How far y'all two go back,
Can
man?
you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear you. How long y'all been knowing each other, Mac and Liv?
Okay. Oh man, you know what? Actually, it's like I would say 1980, 82 when I first met Doc, because I think I was in 7th, 8th grade, and he was playing, and he was the killer then. And, I saw him down in the city playing, actually, in the city. Down there, in like I think it was around because I was with my cousin them down in the project.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, he was outside on the court hooping.
Yeah.
Wow, 1980. Man, y'all
Yeah,
boys
82,
old,
man. Yeah, I was
man.
like
82.
7th, 8th grade, man.
That's right. That is right.
Wow.
Hey, that's what we was doing. We would go, coaches would take us around to play. And then we saw them because they was always good. And then we actually played against each other in the Moores tournament back then.
Oh. Wow. 1982. Some of our viewers can't even fathom being around that time. There was some good times, people. 1982, you could walk the streets. You didn't have to worry about none of that stuff, man.
Exactly.
Right.
It was all about playing ball, everybody doing what they do, whether you played football, baseball, you had love from everywhere, everybody supported one another. And man, that's what gave us the motivation and the drive to succeed.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, do you realize now, do you find that, I'm sorry, do you see it nowadays, like Liv, I want to ask you this too, that the game is stagnant because kids are not able to go out and play in the streets like y'all did? Remember, y'all played against grown-ass men. Y'all were playing against grown men, right?
Yeah. Well, to me, I think the game is stagnated enough, to a point where the young kids, they don't have the outlet and the resources because it's so dangerous now.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, we could go west side, south suburbs, go to the south side, and go to Cole Park, go to Rainbow Beach, play, and then go home. It was cool. You play all day, go home. Now these kids, they don't have that outlet for fear of things that might happen, and then the parents have to really take control as to where they're going and watch who they're going with because of the danger in some of these areas right now.
Man, Sam, we got people already chiming in, man. You know how we usually started, and Bob, I got away from it, so we got to get back to it. Sam, who put the rock in your hand?
Yeah.
So somebody wanted to ask the question, who put the rock in your hand?
Man, You know what? It was my brother. My brother was the very first one who put the rock in my hand at a young age, and his friends. He used to always play, but he was just a neighborhood player, and he was good. Shout out to my brother Bill. He passed away a while ago, but man, he put the rock in my hands and formulated me to that motivated me. You know, he was from that 50s era, that 60s era. So, you know, he was a great brother, but you know, he had some problems along the way. But regardless of it all, he loved his family, man. And he always made sure, whether I was in Houston, Vancouver, Miami, he was right. Hey, bro, keep that rock, keep going. Don't stop until God tell you to stop. You know, so that's what I use as my motivation.
That's beautiful, Sam. Now, and I want to say this too, man, because I think a lot of people, especially people from Chicago, they get this thing mixed up so much about basketball being played in the city. They always downplay the suburbs, right? They would always say, man, the suburb got them dudes out in the suburb can't hoop, you know. Tell some of our listeners, man, because I know you got a taste of both sides because you got family in the inner city too and in the suburb. But you playing in the suburbs, right? And who were some of the guys that you looked up to that maybe was a little older than you that was giving people the business on the court?
Oh man, you know, out here in the suburbs, man, you had Kevin Duckworth. You know, I grew up watching them. You had Manny Jackson, who to me was one of the best point guards of the suburbs. Then, you know, you had Lloyd Batts, you had Darren Guest, Boo them from Thornton. I mean, you know, hey, that Tyrone Thigpen them, you know, he was DeMarcus Liberty of Harvey back then. You know what I'm saying? So he was 6'8", do it all just like Lib could do. But I mean, it was so many guys from the south suburbs that helped motivate me, helped formulate, man, my game, as long as coming to the city, being around my family, because my family was from the project. So I was always down in the projects with them, and then going to the west side, the hoop and everything. So being that, and I wasn't afraid to go any place, that's what really catapulted me, because once I, you know, it's basically like a dog, you know, you own your area, and then you branch out to play against others to test your ability. And that's what we was doing here from the suburbs. Myself, Kendall, Bobby Smith, you know, we play here. We good in this area, but we really wasn't good until we came to the city and met up against Marcus Liberty, the Jamie Brandons, the Lavertus Robinsons, you know what I'm saying, and all the other great players, Joe Doherty, all Walter Bond, them, you know, them niggas from the west side was giving people the business.
Right.
You know, and it was tough.
Wow, man, Sam, that's taking me back. It's taking me back. That's taking me back. But Sam, man, we got a bunch of people, man, because you know it wasn't set up like this last time you was on the show. Now we got people. They do their research, man, and look you up and all that, man. So we got one person. I want you to read this, and then you go ahead and answer it.
Why I went to 3 colleges? Well, I had trouble. You know, I wanted to own my own, and I was a knucklehead. You know, to say the least. I'm keeping real. I talk to these kids now. Growing up, once I went to Iowa, I actually was supposed to go to Michigan out of high school, and Glenn opted to stay another year. So Bill Frieder told me, "Hey, why don't you go to Iowa State? I got a good friend there, Johnny Orr, and you know, he'll let you play." So I ended up going to Iowa State first, and they told me the day before the season that I was a Proposition 48. I had passed all my scores, but then they took a class away from me. So I was a Prop 48 casualty my freshman year. And so I had to sit out, and I sat out that year, did good, qualified for my sophomore year, came back, played with Iowa State, was a newcomer of the year, Big 8 freshman and of the year, and let the hood get to me again. You know, start smelling my
right.
Didn't think it didn't stink, and
start smelling your ass. I was saying.
And so, you know, I hung out with the wrong crowd and ended up getting into a situation in Iowa State where I was charged with armed robbery. And it was a tumultuous thing that happened because I embarrassed my family. You know, the coaching staff up there, even though I didn't have anything basically to do with it, I still embarrassed myself. Most importantly, and like I said, the people that loved me and supported me. So at that point, I transferred to Arizona State with Bill Frieder. Bill Frieder left, ended up leaving Michigan, going to Arizona State. And when I got in that trouble at Iowa State, he stepped up. He stepped up and welcomed me with open arms to Arizona State. Got to Arizona State. Was projected to compete in the Pac-10 championship against Chris Mills in Arizona at that time. They were a powerhouse. And then we had Bill Frieder had a hell of a recruiting class in the top 5 that year. We brought in Stephen Headache, Jamal Faulkner, Isaac Austin, Fontaine from California. It was we had a chance to get Ed O'Banion before he went to UCLA. So we had a top recruiting class. Then back then, you know how they used to give players to let you make phone calls home. So I used the phone system at the school, me, Jamal, and a couple of players, and we ran the bill up. You was calling back to the crib, and it was like several thousands of dollars. And so
damn,
we got in trouble. Didn't get suspended for that, but I had a Caucasian female that actually said that I had raped her.
Oh wow.
And at that point, come to find out, when they did the lie detector test, she refused to take the lie detector test. Her boyfriend at the time was head of SAE fraternity, which is one of the largest fraternities at Arizona State. So when he found out that we were messing around, he went to his dad, which was the president at the time. So they wanted to suspend me from the university for 4 years.
Damn.
And then come back to try to play. At that time, I'd have been 24, 25 years old.
Right.
So I wrote the NCAA, and they elected me. You know, they read everything. They investigated, and they knew it was a bunch of BS, baloney. So at that time, they offered me one thing I could do. They said, if you go to JUCO, you have to graduate within 1 year. Then we'll give you 1 more year of NCAA eligibility. Hey, I went to JUCO, Tyler Junior College, bust my ass. Oh, excuse my language, bust my butt down there. Played against Larry. I was Eastern Conference National Player of the Year. Larry Johnson was Western Conference, Texas West, because he was at Odessa, and I was at Tyler. So we were both, you know, I'm East, he Western Conference Player of the Year. I ended up going to Houston. He ended up going to UNLV. And man, after that, just played 1 year of University of Houston and made it, man. You know,
man, that's a good story there.
That is. And man, I think that's gonna help a lot of people too, just by you being upfront and honest with people when you go out and speak to them, because everybody's road to success is different. You know, you had a bumpy road a little bit, and then you figured it out. You know, and I think that's a story within itself. And my role was a little different. You know, my role was a little bit smoother, but at the same time, we both made it from the inner city, from our neighborhoods, to get an opportunity to be able to support, you know, our families, man, and that's a blessing.
Man, Liv, I mean, where we come from, brother, we wasn't expected to make it, you know. You know what I'm saying? We had everything all against us, you know, come from single parent households where it's we got brothers and sisters, everybody trying to make it. Nobody's really giving us guidance, you know, but they leaving us to guide ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And what guided us was that little orange peel, that rock. That was our focus right there that kept us out of trouble from all the other things all the other varmints that we could have easily gravitated to, because that was life. Right. That was life out here. You know, me getting shot 5 times, coming back, continue to play. You know, I try to educate and tell these young kids now, man, listen, just because you good, you not good. It's always somebody better. And continue to get better in order to keep your position. So you can't think that you're too good to the point where you're not listening and you want to do it your way, because your way will end up in jail on the highway. You don't have a school to go to. Then you lose the support system of the coaches and the people around you. Luckily, Liv, as you know, we played. So when we come up from the old era where nowadays, you know, they're not working on their game like we had to work on our game. You know what I'm saying? We had to physically get in the gym every day and work. Now they doing all this analytical stuff that players aren't developing like we were. You know, and that's how we was able to play. And we look at players not like, they getting all this money. I'm glad for them. Yes, I'm glad that everybody can break the bank. But then when it comes down to it, brother, are you really working? We was in the gym with Tim Grover, Monday through Friday, running every day, sprints, weights, all that, because we had to do that to stay with everybody else, because it wasn't so, well, okay, you could play here and this wasn't a shooting game. No, man, you had to work on back to the basket, getting to the basket, shooting, dribbling, and main thing, defense. That's one thing that the Midwest Chicago players got, that the East Coast got ball handlers. West Coast got shooters. But what the Midwest Chicago players bring to the table is complete game. We all had complete games. That's why we all played in the league. That's why Chicago has always kept more players in the league than anybody at one point. Because, you know, we could do everything. If you need us to lock somebody up, we was locking them up. You need us to score, we were scoring. You need a big man, a 6'8" nigga to handle the rock, bring that ball up. You know what I'm saying? Kendall could play all position. You know what I'm saying? That's how Chicago players was. And they still talk about it to this day.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, Ron, I got a question for you, Sam. He said, talk about your time playing in the CBA. You won the scoring title there. Sam, you love to shoot that damn ball, don't it, man?
Oh, man. The CBA, man, you know, that was, I say, the most humbling experience that I got, because when you make it to the league and you there, my first 2 years, I was with San Antonio. You know, I was blessed first and foremost, and I thank God all the time, and I try to explain this to my son. I was blessed to play on all my teams. I had superstars. So I was never at home during Christmas or all the holidays. I was always playing on TV and on the road. So, but the CBA was the main point, the main focus of when you get to the league, and if you're not doing what you're supposed to, they cut you, release you. Now you got to go to this level of the league, and you got to fight like hell to get back up. I mean, and it's not promised that you, just because you played in the league, that you're going to get back up, because back then, the CBA is way tougher than the G League and the NBA D League. You know what I'm saying? I think my man Isaiah Thomas got a bad rap for that, because you know, they tried to say that he broke the CBA down. That wasn't true. The NBA broke the CBA down because they saw what he did, how he was changing, how players were coming there trying to make moves and doing the right things. And the powerhouse that the CBA had began to with Tate George. You had killers coming out of the CBA. I mean, these players were all American in college. Just imagine, just because it's a numbers game, now you all fall back into this little league. So now this little league is packed from 1 through 12 with every talent, all type of talent, brother. You had, I'm talking about, go at each other. Chris Childs, Chris Jenks. Man, you had my man from Minnesota, Willie Burton. Man, hey man, people that will give you 50 in the blink of an eye. So when I went to the CBA, I went to a couple different teams, but it was a learning experience. Like, nigga, your shit stink. So what you got to do to get better? You got to outplay all these people to get back up in there. And so, man, I had to focus. I let my girl go. I let everything go. And for that year, them 9 months, I got myself in top shape, worked in the gym, shot, got me a shooter coach, and just perfected my shot. So every time I came off a pick, I was letting it go. And I knew it was good because I put in the work during the summer. And that year, Mario ended up breaking his hand. I got called up to the Houston Rockets, and I never looked back after that. Because I didn't want to go back to the CBA.
Hey, you know, I want to add to that though. It's funny you said that because Isaiah Thomas said that last week on the podcast I was watching. He said that NBA took his whole model and created the G League, and he said that was when all bets was off.
Hey, bro, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that, but those who were in the CBA at that time understood what was going on. And I understood. I mean, you can't blame the NBA because they see something, and as you know, like all these big Fortune 500 companies, if you got a small company that can possibly do good, they come in and buy you out.
Yeah.
What I'm saying? So what they did was David Stern was they saw what Isaiah was doing and how he changed the league around, now making it more for where all the players, instead of going over the seas, now we come into the CBA to get back. You know, players used to bounce. When you get cut, they going overseas to get that break. You know, but what Isaiah did was making where the players wanted to stay in the United States and compete so they could still stay on the radar. And the NBA, along with some other stuff, they had more money, more marketing. They took his vision and created the D League. And then from the D League, now you go to the G League.
Right. Which is the same thing, really. They just got Gatorade to throw a big check at them.
Thank you. There you go.
Get the name.
There you go.
Yeah. But Sam, let's talk about this, man. A lot of people don't get an opportunity to play with, I'm going to say it, Hall of Famers. You got a chance to play with 2 or 3 or 4. You got Hakeem Olajuwon. You got David Robinson.
Yeah.
You had an opportunity. Talk to some of our listeners about the 2 centers and what separated each of them from each other, right? Talk about their games.
Well, my first 2 years in San Antonio back in 1992, 93, 93, 94 was with David. And playing with David was a sense of you playing with a giant who was a subtle giant, a nice giant, but will do anything to win. Right. Was a great physical specimen, led by example, very a God-fearing person, and kept it that way, wanted to bring that amongst the team and everything. So And sometimes the only thing with that, it was a conflict with some of the players, because some of the players, they didn't accept. Well, I think everybody accepts God, but they don't know how to bring that into their life on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so David was the person that had God in his life on a daily basis, and he spread the word, and he spread the word on the team playing. And then one example, for instance, you know, as you know, Liv, when you on the plane out the game, whether you win or lose, players, hey, we chilling. They gonna get in the back of the plane, gonna gamble.
Right.
So me, George Gervin, Antoine Carr, they back there gambling, and David get up. Hey, stop gambling. Stop gambling. You gonna tell this man to stop gambling? You gonna tell Big Antoine Dog Carr he can't gamble? Hey man, they said, hey David, take your church self back up there. We game over with. Hey, man, hey,
Your church self.
In that aspect, you know, but that was David. But a great person, man. And I love David to this day. He'll do anything for everyone. Now, Dream, on the other hand, hey, Dream a warrior. He don't talk much. He show by example. But if you get on his bad side, you will see the real Hakeem Olajuwon.
He'll whoop people's ass.
Now, oh yeah. Oh no, he got what you call it, that African slap. Vernon and a few of the OGs know about Dream, you know, but now Dream's personality is one, he encourage you. He tell you, Dream's famous word was seize the moment. And what he meant by that, he explained it to me to the T. He said, you got an opportunity now to take care of your whole family. Don't let the outside forces take your moment. Mm-hmm. Seize the moment. So when I got to the Rockets, he mean, right now, this is your comeback. Every day you should bust your ass so you can stay here and you can prove them that they were wrong for releasing you in San Antonio so you can get back in the league and you can stay here for the remainder of your career. And I took those words, I wrote them down, seize the moment, and I tell my son to this day, seize every moment that you can. Sometimes it may not go, but if you attack it like it's yours, mm-hmm. you're gonna win more times than not. Right. And him and Dale Ellis told me this one time. I got in the game and I didn't shoot the ball, but I was wide open. You know, me, I'm trying to rotate the ball, you know, getting the swing of things. Hey man, Dream told me at halftime, he got in my face, pointed to me and said, shoot. And Dream do not curse.
Right.
Yeah, shoot the damn ball. He said, no, seize the moment. That's your moment. We throw you the ball. That's what we brought you here. Shoot the ball. Wow. I was trying to get Clyde, give it to Clyde. But Clyde and them, they all told me, shoot the ball. That's what I'm here for. And man, after that, my career went up, my confidence went up. And then Dream and Dale had told me, we were at the luncheon one time. We were about to play Seattle. And so me and Dale had always been cool because we played in San Antonio. So Dale said, man, listen. And I tell this to all shooters today. You got 50% chance to make it. You got 50% chance you're going to miss it. Mm-hmm. But if you shoot the ball knowing that I'm going to make it, you're going to make more than you miss. It's a mindset. Mm-hmm. It's a mindset because sometimes people just get in the ball, they just shoot it, not even caring if they make it or miss it. But right. Good shooters, if you know you're going to make it or you think you're going to make it, your percentages go from here to here. Mm. And Dream encouraged me and put that in me.
Right.
Wow.
Well, we got another question from Hoop Baller Scoop. He says, Sam, you played against Mike Jordan, I believe, in both three-peats, right? Looking back, what made Michael Jordan so tough to defend? Was he stronger than he looked? Robert Ory said Jordan was strong as an ox. Talk about that, your time against Michael Jordan.
You know, playing against the Black Cat. That's what I call him. I don't call him I call him the Black Cat because you see him, now you don't. Strong, very strong, very deceptive. Mike, MJ, Air, the greatest of all time.
You better be careful saying that.
Hey, man, listen. It's a difference between. I'm gonna go back to that too, but hold on. I say the greatest of all time because Mike had that killer instinct in you, whereas he'll talk to you, but he's gonna tell you, "I'm gonna bust your ass." And if you get to talking back to you, you only gonna elevate his game even higher. The thing about Mike is, it's like he never had no ceiling. You know what I mean? He never had a ceiling because if you shut one move off, he got a counter. Now Kobe, on the hand, he mastered that to where you counter, you shut him off, he got a counter, you shut that counter off. Kobe got 3 counters to your move. Well, Michael, back then when we played, Michael had 1 or 2. Kobe did that even more. I'm gonna hit you with this one and that one and that one and that one. Now you still gotta stop. But Mike put that in Kobe.
Yeah, he sure did.
He put that in Kobe. So Michael, man, damn, you got to just give it to him, man, because he could post you up, shoot the jumper, and Liv, you know this, when Michael first got in the league, he couldn't shoot worth shit. He was just a slasher. But he got in that gym after battling with them Detroit boys and realized I got to have this 15 to 17 foot shot, and my mid-range got to become deadly. And that mid-range will open up that lane. And that's what happened. Now he add that mid-range jumper, then he added the 3 to his game. It's over with, man. You cannot. It's so much stuff that he had in his repertoire. It's hard to defend. And then you had a masterful coach in Phil. If he saw the mismatch on you, Mike, down on the block. If you let her on the block, if you out, ISO, 2-hole, you know. But Phil gave that to everybody, all his players, that open relationship in that triangle.
Right.
To be successful.
Do you remember this right here, Sam? My man Cyril White, he's from Houston. He said y'all was on a shooting machine.
Yeah. Yep. And you know what? That record right there still holds down in Miami. I think Ray Allen is I beat Ray Allen. I set the record in Miami for 92 out of 100 threes down in Miami.
Wow.
Damn.
So Sam, man, I tell people this, man, because you in my era, you my generation, man. You shoot that ball, man. Like I tell people, I said, if Sam was playing in this generation of shooters, man, shit, man, you'll be making $10-15 million a year easy.
Or more.
Hey, me and Rod talk about that. Rod Strickland talked about that before, man. It's different now. We all to be sitting up there on top of the mountain. You know what I'm saying? Because we had to go through a lot of physical stuff. Now, as soon as a man touched the ball, turn around, we got to give you 3 feet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Liv, what was that? When we catch the ball, we had a nigga hitting us with an elbow in our back.
Right.
Hey, before he answer this question, though, Liv, I want to ask him, since he on that topic, it was more physical when you and Liv played, and y'all wasn't getting hurt as much as these guys. What's going on?
Because you know what? This is what I said earlier. We took the time to put in work on our bodies. Was in the weight room. We was running every day, doing plyometrics, 3 days out the week, and we had a weekend off. But Tim Grover, And all our other trainers had us right. And I'm talking about the trainers with our teams prospectively. They had us right. They had us right, bro, because you had to be physically capable to withstand the beating and withstand 82 games back then. Now, this load management, all that, you know, that's watered down, man. That's watered down. That ain't league. That's not.
Right. Go ahead and answer that one.
That's not league material at all.
He said, "Who baller school say talk about Steph Curry and the impact on the NBA and the game of basketball worldwide? Is he the top 10 player ever or headed towards it?"
Yeah, to me, Steph is one of the best shooters of all time. What he brings to the table is the fact not only that he can create off the dribble. Excuse me, hold on, let me get this picture right. Not only can he create off the dribble, but he can shoot from distance. And I gotta thank Dale, man. Because Dale put that in him at a young age, and to where, hey, just because you're small, you still can be effective and be productive in the league. And then you gotta give testament to his work ethic, man. Because Curry wasn't fast, he's not quick, but he's very deceptive with that ball because he works on his ball handling game, and then he constantly stay in the gym shooting his shots, man. I saw him in Golden State doing a workout. I was just amazed how many, the shots that he made consecutively in a row after practice. Now, he shot before practice, but after practice, he still got up another 700 shots. Where everybody else was gone. 700, bro. 700 down there at the old arena down there in Oakland.
Wow. So I know, Sam, we was talking, we got a lot of people wanted to ask you questions, but we also want to talk about your son. We want to talk about your son who's going to UCLA.
That's dope, man.
And I saw him play when he was a shorty, and I was like, he got it, Sam. I remember sitting down, we was watching the game. It was in Orlando, I think.
Yeah,
we was in Orlando, and I was like, he got it, Sam. And Sam's like, you think so? And I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, man. We gonna bring him along slowly, and he gonna have to figure this thing out. Now, I guess he didn't figured it out, and now he's going to UCLA next year. So tell some of our listeners who may not know Sebastian, tell them a little bit about him so they can get to know this kid and start following.
Man, this kid, he was growing up in Chicago. He went to Ariel and Beasley. He was always bigger than all the other kids, so he commanded little double teams then, but he was a little chubby. You know how kids are a little chubby then, and you're always like, man, what is he gonna do? He loved LeBron, so he used to always pass the ball, and I like that, good. But all of a sudden, he started losing the weight. He started really getting focused, really wanting to work at it. Was waking his mom up out of Saturday. I want to go hoop, and he steadily developed a love for the game to where now this is all he does. And his game has grown leaps and bounds to the point where he's an all-around player. He passed first, scored second. He's just a great kid, man.
How tall is he, Matt?
Man, he's 6'3".
Okay.
He's 6'3" point guard, but he can shoot. He can get to the basket. That's his biggest thing, is that can't nobody stay in front of him. That's the good thing. He was definitely in the top 40 recruits this year. All the top point guards that's going to Duke, going to Kansas, he destroyed them last year in the EYBL, led the whole EYBL in scoring.
Damn, man.
All the top coaches, from UCLA, from St. John's to Georgetown to Arizona, Xavier, even Juwan in Michigan, they love his toughness, man. He's a tough kid, man. Tough kid.
Why UCLA though? Why not Juwan Howard in Michigan?
You know what? I think it was the point that Mick Cronin had been after Sebastian from the get-go. I actually didn't think he was going to go to UCLA. I thought he was going to go to Florida State with Leonard Hamilton. Leonard was at the top of his list, or Oklahoma. But what the deal with Mick was, I saw the toughness in Mick, and come hell or high water, he gonna get in your butt. Sebastian needs a coach in his butt.
Right.
Sebastian come up from Sean on 87th right there. Trash. All them players was coaching him.
Okay.
So as you know, Trash and them, they get in they pull it out you.
Right.
So that's what he grew up with.
Right. So he need that. He need to be coached like that.
Exactly. So what I saw from Mick is he gonna get in your butt and he gonna hold you accountable, because Sebastian's talent is up here. That sometimes the coaches just let him it's like they're afraid to say something to you, and Liv, as we come up, coaches Cox and them would get in our butt, get in your butt, Rocky Hill get in my butt and stuff, because they saw that we could give them much more, and they wanted much more out of us to give back, to play. You know what I'm saying? So when you see a coach that can offer you that if he's not gonna let your kid just skate by, then that's who I want my son to be up under, because he gonna push him, and he has a resume of putting players in the league or getting them a shot. Now, to me, like I tell Sebastian all the time, hey, ain't nothing promised. It's up to you. Now, this high school was your growing years. College now, I can't do nothing. Mick can't do nothing. Can't nobody else do nothing for you. It's all about what you do, how long you stay in the gym, how you develop your game so you can get to the next level. Each level is different. What you do in high school, you can't do in college.
Right.
What you do in college, you can't do in the pro. Now, high school game mimics the pro game because it's free, more freelance, where college is more structured. But college brings that discipline out of you. Right. And that's what you need.
Yeah, Mick, Coach Cronin, he ain't going nowhere. They love him in UCLA, so you ain't got to worry about no coaching change.
Well, but you know what? But you know what I say though, Sam, and I've been like looking at a lot of stuff, right? Especially when you guys relocated out to the West, the West Coast.
Yeah,
it's good to stay on that West Coast, because once you playing on the West Coast and you already have that Chicago type game, it's gonna be that much easier for you to go out there and really do work, right?
Yeah.
So I think Sebastian's he's in a great spot, just like the young kid who transferred and went to, now he's a freshman, is at UCLA now.
Yeah.
What's his Bailey, right?
Bailey, yeah, Mark.
Mark. So he was from Chicago. So you see that toughness, right? And then you have that West Coast type style of play. It's easy for a Chicago kid to come over there and adjust. I always recommend that when kids relocate and you on that West Coast, stay on that West Coast, man.
Yeah. You told me that too. You told us that. You told us that because remember we were thinking about North Carolina State and Virginia with him also, and even with Virginia, Corey was like,
Alexander,
hey man, bring them down and let us. So, but then I was thinking, just like what you said, Lib, I started looking at the players that they're recruiting, and how if you on the East Coast, you automatically show love to the East Coast players on there. That's just natural. Just like Illinois is gonna show love to Chicago and the Midwest players, and the West Coast gonna show more love to their players. So, and if you take a player from the West Coast to the East Coast, he might get lost in that shuffle.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So you have to be careful, especially nowadays when you positioning your kid. But like me, Lib, and everybody else, of course, we just want to let them play. They're gonna figure it out, and the cream gonna rise to the top regardless.
Right.
Every time. To all you fellas, what age did you start seeing decline in your game? And to Sam, when did you know it was time to retire? And what age did you retire? Let me answer up first. Now, my game never declined. I'm still nice. All right, guys, go ahead.
You was breaking up on my end. What you say, Bob?
I said I'm gonna go first. Lene Jones, my game's never declined. I'm still nice. All right, go ahead, Lib and Sam.
Well, I think that my game started to decline about 40 because I was a shooter, so I could still shoot. Even to this day, I still shoot in the gym with the kids, and I go up and down a little bit. But no, as far as retired, when you're in the league, when you get to that age like 30, 31, they look to replace you. They look to replace you. After when you get to that 30 age, they're trying to bring in some younger talent and everything like that. And that's just been the history. Why? I don't know, because you have some players that even like Ray Allen, when he was 35, could still shoot the ball and was trying to get on the team. And I mean, I'm sorry, not 35, even 40. You know, he's still in great shape. And you got, you know, look at Kevin Garnett. He looked like he could still get out there. The big ticket can play. So, but Father Time will tap you on the back of that shoulder, be like, hey, look, you can't run up and down the court no more, young fella.
Right. Well, yeah, it was different, man. I would say my 30s. Yeah, I was in my 30s, man. When I actually said, you know what, I can't do it no more. You know, and I still wanted to play, but I wasn't going to be one of those guys to be playing, you know, with my mind and saying I can still do it, knowing my body was saying, no, you can't, you know. So
absolutely.
I got away with, I got done with it early. And then I started figuring out what I wanted to do next in my life, which is, you know, giving back and teaching kids and mentoring kids about basketball. So I jumped right into doing that, working with kids on skill development and talking to them about the game. So I went right into that. But a lot of people who played the game, they get stuck. They don't know what's that next move in life, you know. So I was fortunate enough to understand that's what I wanted to do, and I jumped right in.
And you know what, Liv, let me echo you on that. A lot of players, because I talk with several players, you know, older retired players, and that's true. When we're done, or when we think we're done or whatever, we don't know what we're going to do after life, because we are so consumed with this is what we did for basically 20 years since we get to college. We basically are on a military schedule: school, workout, train, rest. School, workout, train, rest. School, workout, train, rest. And that's through college, and even more so in the pros. So at that point in time, we're not educated on, or shall I say, on what to do after basketball. That's why it takes players 7 years. They call it the 7-year itch. Well, they say it for marriages, it's a 7-year itch.
7-year itch, right.
But even that actually follows along in sports.
Most
athletes don't find their calling on what to do until 7-8 years later, when the money is finally gone. Then we're trying to make, oh man, what is it to do? You know what I'm saying? But that happened with me. That happened with me. And I know several other players. We just sit around and we want to play. We thinking we can go overseas and all these things, but we need to be focused on life after basketball, and that needs to start doing while we're playing.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
I was
right.
just finna ask you a lib that, man. The NBA don't have a program like that to help you guys transition after sports.
I'm pretty sure they do now, but they
Now,
didn't have it. Yeah.
Right.
now when we did, it was a
Once the gig was
that's
up,
another story.
Right.
Yeah.
That's another segment, shall I say, like our old segment that we did.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I
man.
think now with LeBron and Kevin Durant and Chris Paul, Chris has done a masterful job in incorporating those three players, I must say, and other players definitely did a masterful job of incorporating with the league, trying to get players into programs outside of basketball.
Right.
That's good, man. Because you think about it, it's only been 5,000 guys to play in the NBA.
Yeah.
So that should be relatively easy to be able to help these guys transition from the next point.
Well, we think it should be easy because they got all the money.
They got it
We
all.
made them money. We
Right.
made them money, the owners' money. So pour back into your players like we poured out into you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, we don't know because we're so consumed with out here running up and down in between this rectangular square.
Right.
You set something up for us while we're doing this. Let's educate these players. Hey, with this money, do this. Put this money away.
Yeah.
Live on this money. Take 20% of your income and put it away. Instead of
like as soon as the guys get there, like you get the $5 million, you start franchising. Say, hey man, get your Popeyes, you get all these things while you're in the league, and learn how to work it, in your off season.
Yeah.
Instead of going to Jake the Jeweler and
exactly.
So check the jeweler. So you see that next question up there. Why? Yeah, go ahead, Bob. No, you go ahead. You got it.
Oh, how is it that Boogie Cousins, Carmelo, and Jabari Parker can't get jobs in the NBA?
Well, to me, Boogie's he should have been playing this year. Carmelo should have been playing this year as well as Jabari. But I think it's a factor of they're older. Them being older, now teams feel as though they can't give them as much as what they need, and that's totally false. Sebastian is in Las Vegas playing with Boogie every day. They work out every day together.
Yeah.
And man,
Boogie Cousins, your son work with him every day, huh?
Every day.
At the YMCA.
At the YMCA out there, they work every morning. Boogie's like has taken him as his big brother, letting him know, hey,
man,
Sebastian came. Let me tell you this, man. Sebastian came home. This is because they've been working together now for about a month or so. He came home. He was like, man, Boogie set a pick on me, and I can't move. I said, oh yeah. I said, welcome to the NBA. he said Boogie put his arms out and he was trying to get around him. He couldn't move. I said, welcome to the NBA.
Wow. Yeah, so I'm looking at the age. Boogie is 32. Jabari is 28, and Carmelo, we know, is 38. Right.
Yeah. Hold on one second. There's too much noise in here, guys.
All right. So you don't think and I can say this to you too, Bob. You don't think, I'll mute this mic until you get ready. You don't think Jabari Parker at 28 years old can help a team, especially now in the playoffs? Then I look at a Boogie Cousins who's 32. This is the playoffs we're talking about, right? I think teams like a Golden State or I know Boogie already did the Golden State thing, right? But I'm looking at like a Phoenix.
Or the Bulls, man.
Or the Bulls, whatever. Bulls doing the play-in. I'm talking about guys I'm talking about teams on the serious side, right? That's got a chance to win the championship. I don't think the Bulls have a chance to win the championship. I'm talking about like Phoenix. Phoenix has a great chance of winning a championship. So if they get somebody like a Boogie Cousin who can back up Aiden, who can back up Aiden, I think that solidifies them as the team to
As a
beat.
powerhouse.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely, Doc, because Boogie bring his game is something else, bro. He bring the toughness, and really Boogie got low post moves, bro, that he got footwork, man, that he could get a bucket on anybody.
Right.
And
Yeah.
he a real killer, bro. And
Yeah.
I think that the knock on Boogie is because he played with that fierce attitude is misconstrued. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, oh, you a cancer.
Mm-hmm.
No, this man, he played with desire.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He get mad when he see a big man dominating his other big man, and he know he could be in the game. I listen to him talk. I would watch him and just listen to how he talking about, man, this and that. And even he made a comment recently about Jokic. Now, Jokic, hey, the kid from Denver, a great center, doing wonders. But really, do you think he's 3-time MVP?
Absolutely not. And Kendrick broke it down the right way. He said he would be the third MVP to win the MVP and not be in the top 10 in scoring.
Exactly.
In the league.
Exactly.
And it's only happened 2 other times, and that was Dirk and Steve Nash.
Hey, listen, Boogie he destroys him every time. Go back and look at the tape when they played him. Boogie destroyed that man.
Mm-hmm.
And Boogie say, look, I don't see it. I don't know why they keep giving to him. And no knock against the Joker, because he's a great talent. But I see where Boogie's coming from. And I look at Boogie's talent. I see this young kid running every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, running, trying to get in shape. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, he need to be in the league.
So he haven't said this is over with for him. So he's still leaving that door open. Hopefully that he'll get another shot. But here's what I think, fellas, man, that the NBA is ran by what people?
Jewish.
All right. So you're gonna say Jews. I'm just gonna say, white, Caucasians, right? So when you see blacks, and you see y'all say Boogie is acting a certain way, right? What's the first thing they say? They angry, they mean, they mad, so they like to fight or whatever it may be. And I think that's what the label that they gave Boogie.
Yep.
And I think that within itself hurts him because he wears it on his, sleeves, He let people know that, man, I can't change who I am. I came from a certain area. We all came from a certain area, right? Of what we wanted to do and accomplish. Sometimes people are more vocal than others. And I think Boogie was the one of those type of players like, man, I'm not going to shut it down because you tell me to. This is what made me who I am today.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what's happening, man. And from what I hear from you saying it, Sam, and then my boy Sam Smith, who lives in there and Vegas, tells me the same thing about Boogie, how he is a wonderful person. If you get to meet him and sit down and talk to him, man, the kid is like unbelievable, right? So you wouldn't even think that's the same guy that you see on the court that's acting, the way he's acting, like meaning being physical and all that. He's the nicest soft giant, a big soft giant, off the court. But that's who he is when he's on the court. So we can't fight that.
And
let me grab my water bottle, guys. Go ahead.
And you know what, Liv? Like I echo everything you saying because Sam Smith said it. I seen it, and I see how he working with the younger kids. I see how he's trying to help them. Like he's helping Sebastian, bro. No, Sebastian, you got to develop this pick and roll game right now because the league is pick and roll. He's helping Sebastian come off pick and roll. Let's practice this, bro. Throw that overhand pass, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey, bro, Liv, man, as an NBA player, man, I love that shit, bro.
Yes.
Because as a father, me and Sebastian, we clash a lot because I'm trying to be his coach and I'm
father.
his father. And remember, I talked to you about that. You said Mac, now we got to let somebody on the outside
Yeah.
come and bring it. And bro, since I took that advice from you, John Lucas, and Rod Strickland, and Reggie Miller told me that same thing, man. You got to listen. Hey, bro, me and Sebastian relationship has now catapulted into a good, respectful father-son relationship. Not, Dad, you trying to pressure me to be you and I'm not you. And even though we got the blueprint lid, how to get there, you know, our kids don't want to hear this every single day, but they'll hear from somebody else.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn that, and now that I did learn and incorporated that with our relationship. Hey, you want to go to the gym? Yeah, he'll go, but then I'll sit outside, or I'll go upstairs and watch, and then I'll relate what I want him to work on with the coaches, and they get it out of him. But with Boogie, bro, I ain't even got to tell Boogie this, bro. He doing the stuff that me and you was doing because it was given to us. We give it back. And that's, I mean, I can't say nothing else about Boogie, nothing bad at all, except I hope my brother get a chance.
Yes.
Deserving of that. Just the stuff that he do in the city of Las Vegas alone. And then Lance Stevenson, another killer, supposed to be in the league. Man, he working with my son as well.
So Lance live in Vegas too?
Man, Lance live in Vegas too, yeah.
Wow.
Sorry about that guy.
Hey, bro, they in the gym daily working out.
Wow.
They in the gym daily working out with Sebastian. You know, I'm working with him.
Man, Sam, you know what, man? It is very fortunate and a blessing for you, right?
Yeah.
To not burn any bridges, right? I say because you can tap into those people who played, because of that fraternity of the NBA, that guys that played before you and after you, right? You can tap into them and get some of their resources and help your son become even a better person and basketball player, because you can learn from some of the mistakes that they went through.
Yeah.
So that's awesome, man, that you have that. But let's go back to that Boogie, because my man right here, Kevin Haywood, got something good. That meanwhile, Grayson Allen is considered a tough guy and has an attitude, and he's still in the NBA.
That
getting
what?
A big check.
You know what? That again, with what's going on in the world today, is the reason why it's a divided country.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Grayson, hey, I'm glad he's in the NBA. He worked hard, but his antics that he did before, kicking people, hitting them in
college,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but he did that a couple times at Duke, where he kicked people, and then
several
he did
times.
it with me. You know what I'm saying? With the elbow swinging up to hitting the guy in the ball in his scrotum. You know what I'm saying? So that, yeah, it's a double standard, bro. It's a double standard, and
So let's talk about that a little bit. Now that we ain't got to talk about it a lot. Let's say Boogie Cousins, right? Who we say got an attitude, and then we say Grayson Allen, who's playing that tough role and has an attitude, right? But it seems like he gets rewarded. He gets a 2-year deal worth $18 million, an annual salary of $9.5 million.
Yeah.
And Boogie Cousins is sitting back at home in Las Vegas mentoring kids when he still have that fire inside of him. So it's not fair to pick and choose who you want to kick out of the league or say he doesn't belong in the league no more, when you got someone else doing the exact same thing that you say Boogie is the reason why he can't play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's that double standard, bro, is that's not only is it destroying our communities, our world, but it's destroying sports. You know, it's really destroying sports now. So we have to as people, as individuals, try to do better and try to spread the word to do better. Hold on, y'all. Hey,
That's all right, Mac. That's just family, man. It's all good, man. That's
Get him
mama
on, get him on this podcast.
Tell them we said hi, man. That's mama
It's my
and
little
mama
nieces.
them sound like.
It's my little nieces, man. They on spring break, so they coming through.
Okay.
And my lovely mama stopping everybody. So, I'm glad to be home with moms and everything. She just turned 91 on Friday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, she's the matriarch, the queen, the concrete of this whole thing, man.
That's a blessing, man.
Wow.
And my little nieces and nephews, that they keep her going. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
If they not around, sometime I bark like, hey man, I tell my sisters or my nieces, y'all come get these kids. But hey, who am I? My mama say, boy, shut your ass up. You don't live here. I gotta do. Hey, I accept it because they make her day and they help her keep her going.
Capri Johnson. So who is y'all MVP? Didn't Boogie play with the Nuggets last year in the playoffs? It might be his defense.
Oof.
So I'm gonna say the MVP is my MVP, and everybody, I think we're gonna agree, Joel Embiid.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he deserves it, man. He definitely deserves it.
Hands down, bro. Hands down. Unstoppable force to shoot the three, inside, outside, start to break. What more can you say, man? Joel really deserves the MVP this year, and he played like an MVP.
He was the MVP
last year. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. They ain't gonna give it to Jokic this year because it's been too many people saying stuff now. Like he's not winning. And Charles Barkley said it, and Ernie got his feathers ruffled when he said it. Mm-hmm. When Charles Barkley said, we're gonna start pulling for this guy, man. He's not winning games, he's not making it out of the playoffs. Ernie got pissed off about that.
Yeah.
Hey, Charles, man, he's like, cause that's his guy, Hey, yep. Like you just said, the divide.
It's the divide and conquer theory. Man.
Yeah.
Divide and conquer theory amongst us, and it's now it's carrying over into the sports world. What I like to liken this to is when 45 became president, he really made it okay for the white people to come out and express their racism. Mm-hmm. And that's a good thing, because now we can actually see, instead of we thinking that y'all cool with us or whatever on so many levels, y'all really hate us and y'all really destroy us. Y'all trying to do something to harm us instead of being, because we as black people, we are nurturers, we are givers, we are caring people. We don't try to harm people first, right? At all. But we will protect ourselves. You know what I'm saying? But what 45 has done is open that door for everybody to come out and to basically, express their hate towards us.
Yeah, that's crazy. Hey, and what you think about well, I'm not gonna say horrible because I don't like to use those type of words, but to describe people. But Anthony Edwards did not play a great game last night. I think he had 8 points, and they ended up losing the game to the Los Angeles Lakers. He is one of the 1-2 punches that they have over there, and he didn't hold up to his end of the stick. Now, to his defense, the kid played defense. He tried to guard LeBron James. He tried to guard D'Angelo, which D'Angelo Russell, I don't think, scored a lot of points. So he was doing his thing defensively. It's just offensively he couldn't get it going. And you see, you got your guy, what's his name, Karl Anthony Towns. I think he wants to be a guard too much, to me. I don't think he bangs enough, because Joel Embiid can play like a guard, but he's still down there banging you.
Hey, right? Yeah, I agree. You know what? Let me ask. I'm gonna say this, Liv. Anthony Edwards is a young superstar on the rise. What last night showed him, or it ought to show him, that I got to be able to do it not just on the offense. I got to do it on the defense because he took the onus of trying to guard LeBron, but he didn't have no offense. That's what separates superstars from all stars.
Right.
Being able to do it all the way around. I got to stop my defensive man and I got to score. You know what I'm saying? So he was stuck because he was putting so much defense trying to stop Bron that he had nothing on the offensive level.
Yeah, so I don't really blame him because that's what he wants to be. He wants to be a two-way player, a guy who can give it to you on the defensive end and on the offensive end. So I don't knock him on that. But I think they're going to need some other scoring anyway. It's not going to just be them two. They're going to need some more scoring if they want to continue this run in the playoff, because I think they got another game, right?
Yeah, they play
Yeah. So and I know the Lakers have now Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right, Bobby?
It's going to be a great season, series.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that, and the Lakers.
So who wins that series?
Man,
I got Lakers in 6.
I think the Lakers have a good chance. I mean, especially if my man not coming back. What's the guy, Adams?
Yeah,
if he's not coming,
that's it right there.
What's wrong with him?
He's hurt.
He hurt. He got a what? Steven hurt his what's that? Is his leg or something?
Yeah, that hurts them big time because that was their guy right there.
Yeah, he's their
That's their enforcer, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
So what do y'all think about this?
What do y'all think about Rudy's so-called punch on Kyle Anderson? I think he pushed his chest. Rudy should have not been suspended. What y'all thoughts on that?
Embarrassment. I think it was embarrassment. So the coaching staff had to, do something. I think that's what it was. It was embarrassed on TV.
Yeah, that was just a save face move that they did because it really wasn't a punch. He didn't connect in his upper face or anything. Words were said between the two. Yeah, it was just a thing to save face, and they had to put it, like I said, they were more embarrassed, so we'll suspend you for this game.
But what's going on with these guys now, man? There's been a lot of that going on, man, with people wanting to steal on people. Were they stealing on people like that when y'all was playing
Hell
in the
league?
Yeah, it was worse probably when we was playing because back, they was letting you rumble back then. And I saw Big Antoine Carr go at it, and the coaches stepped out. They didn't want no parts of him. Man, even that time when me and Charles got into it.
Charles who?
Barkley,
yeah.
Oh, you got into it with Sir Charles?
Yes, sir. I threw a ball and hit him in the head.
Like, man, who you think is that? What you talking about?
Nah, man. I mean, it was. He felt as though I had let the team down when I got injured, and I didn't. I really couldn't play. I had broke my foot, and then he had, everybody know Charles. Charles will throw them subtle jabs at you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or when we out in the club, Sam Mack over there. Be all being Charles Barkley. You know what I'm saying? So I just got tired of him. Like, man, look, man. You over there in your crowd, I'm over here with my crowd. Just because my crowd don't like your crowd, I mean, we had all the fine women that hang with our group because we the young guys. And sit back in the club in the booth, whatever. We walking around, back then.
Right.
And when the girls follow us, he probably was getting mad. Because he would always be on some front stuff, say some crazy stuff, and he had said some stuff to the team like, if y'all don't trade Sam, then don't resign me back. And so I went back to the gym, and the West Side facility, when Rudy and them said that Charles said that, actually Robert Barr had told me that. I went right to the gym and he was down there working out. I picked up a ball and flung it and hit him in the face.
Right.
Because that ain't something you're supposed to do. You know, you don't do
That's
nothing
messing
like,
with your livelihood, man.
exactly. You don't do nothing like that, man.
So what did he do after that? What did he do? He jumped up like you were ready or what? He didn't do nothing?
Hey, bro, look, I had my guy. Hey, I was known for having my guys with me all the time. You know.
And he already knew about you, Sam back. He already knew.
Yeah, he already knew. But I mean, it wasn't like we were trying to do nothing, but you know, it was just I was more so mad because how you gonna go to the organization to tell them to make a threat like that to trade me because
they keep you?
Yeah, come on, man.
Damn, man.
Wow.
Damn.
And it was some other things along the way, like when he first got there, you know, I was finna buy a house. He ended up, he had more money. He went up and putting his money down on the house that I was getting ready to put a contract on.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, you know, it was just, you know, Charles was being Charles back then. You know, he was coming from Phoenix or wherever. So when he signed with the Rockets, so I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a great talent, but like Scotty said, we all felt Charles just was on a party mission instead of on a mission to win the championship. Because
he came down that party.
Yeah, man, we had nobody in the Western Conference was supposed to beat us. We got Charles, Clyde, Scotty, Mario Ellie, me off the bench, Dream.
Right.
Come on, man. We was deep.
And Charles wasn't in no shape when he came over there with
He
y'all.
wasn't in no shape.
You can see that.
Yeah.
Was he arrogant?
Very arrogant, but very arrogant to the point where, I mean, that's just Charles. You know what I'm saying? He's outspoken, everything, you know. He thinks, now that's one person thinking shit don't stink. Right. You know what I'm
Mike
saying?
showed him that, though.
Especially back then, yeah. You know, if you don't do stuff his way, he got an attitude.
Right.
You know,
hey, Liv, you put that question down. I'm sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll put it back up.
Oh, go ahead.
It was just talking about the Isaiah Thomas and Michael Jordan, and then when Oakley, you know, chimed in talking about, you know, reason why this and that, he's mad because Mike took over Isaiah City, you know, and that's, you know,
he said,
it's still the
time
same.
for Isaiah to bury it, though. Ain't it time for him to bury that? What you say, Liv, you and Sam? Is it time for him to let that go?
I don't even pay attention to it, man. So I don't even know why people are like paying attention to it, really.
But let me ask you this. You know what? I don't think it's Zeke. I don't think it's Zeke at all. Because you know what? They're always asking Zeke about that question because it's from Mike. You know, Mike will say something about it. And Zeke brought this up recently. He's like, y'all keep asking me about it because he's making a quote.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah's not bringing it up all the time, but he will talk about it.
Right.
You know, because everybody's always bringing it to him.
Right. He said he's become more popular now that he didn't play on the Dream Team.
Yeah.
You know, that's the big question.
But
man.
that's always been the issue, though, in society in general. Negativity sells.
Every
right?
time.
It's always been the case. So if somebody's all of a sudden says something bad about Bobby Reed and it goes, you know, viral, right?
Viral.
People gonna start looking you up, wanting to request you, wanting to be your friend, wanting to see what you got going on. That's just the way we move.
People love negativity, don't they, man?
But I think that's what a lot of people want to say. You know, Isaiah Thomas was our guy, you know, who we looked up to growing up as shorties. him and Big Mark Aguirre.
Yeah.
So those were the two guys that I got to put TC in that too.
Yeah.
Those were the guys that we looked up. I'm talking about the 80s guys, the 60s.
Hey, look, don't forget Teddy Grubbs, bro.
Teddy Grubbs.
Mhm.
So those were the cats that we were looking up to because that's who we could see, we could touch. We see them on WGN and DePaul watching them play and hoop. And I think Isaiah Thomas, you know, along with that, playing on the streets and the playgrounds. So, and we hearing about him and reading about him all the time. And I think, you know, when Michael Jordan came, it kind of changed the narrative a little bit. Like, man, he
Well, it didn't kind of change it. It changed it.
Yeah, but I'm saying not for everybody because people still hating on Mike too. But I'm just saying you had some people that really like said, man, who is this guy Michael Jordan from North Carolina, you know, coming into our city where we all loved Isaiah and Mark. Right. And then when that started to change, people started to buy the shoes and all that. And then Isaiah might come back to the town and say, man, what's going on? This my city, you know, and I don't know. I'm just speaking from my, you know, what I think that's the case, but I could be wrong, you know, but I know I'm an Isaiah Thomas fan to the end, right? Because
I won't be that.
When I watched him pat the rock, you know, and then even hearing him say that on certain shows, man, we used to pat the rock in Chicago, you know, and so I'm always be an Isaiah Thomas fan, you know, because that's who I watched. But I'm also a Michael Jordan fan, you know, I'm a Magic Johnson fan. So I just love basketball. So when people try to divide, especially two African Americans, man, it doesn't make sense to me. They didn't fight. They didn't do anything crazy. Isaiah and them didn't shake nobody's hands. So that's over with. Let's move on, man.
Hey, but let me say that, you know, they talk about how the Detroit walked off the court, right? And they made that a big thing, right? How Detroit walked off the court, didn't shake their hand. But what happened when Boston did that?
I said the same thing, Sam. Larry Bird and them didn't shake nobody's hand. And Kevin McHale was the only one and Isaiah had to run him down to shake his hand. I remember that, man.
But look,
that wasn't even just them. If you watch the documentary on Bill Russell, he said Red Auerbach used to tell us don't do that either.
Yeah.
Don't shake nobody's hand.
Yes.
Hey, bro, Pat Riley told us that. Man, you don't shake nobody's hand. If a player fall, if we was to help somebody, an opposite team up during the game, he was taking money from us. A fine.
Wow.
Hey, during them 48 minutes, it's war. The art of war.
Right.
After.
Right.
So for Michael or the Bulls organization, for someone to make that up and then for them to give it wings to burn like that.
Long, Matt.
Yeah.
It's long. And Isaiah's been the villain behind this whole thing. Like he said, maybe if I knew now, you know, maybe I'll be like these guys now, man. Hey, how's your family, man? How's the wife?
I mean, that's what they want. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to see, well, we compete, man. We trying to win a championship. We going to be friends after during the summer. We ain't got to be friends doing this 48 minutes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And people lose sight of that now, man. How competitive the game was back then.
Yeah.
And I think to a fault, man, they just made it nowadays it's just about entertainment. And then you might have me and Liv was talking about it one day. It's only been 10 teams to win the damn world championship, to win the championship in the last 40 years, last 30 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's been 10 teams, man. Certain teams ain't gonna win it. It's just certain teams are just not gonna win it. And I told Liv, I said, I don't think Sacramento gonna win it. And then they end up having their best year this year.
Right. All right. Before we get out of here, though, Sam,
yes, sir.
And somebody that they just keep asking the same questions every week. We have a guest on. They want to know: did you play against or knew Ben Wilson? We get it every time we get a guest about Ben Wilson. So go ahead, and they keep. They all on that. Ebony said, "Get such and such question up there right now."
Let me tell you about this. Bob Hamburg, may his soul rest in peace. Bob stayed down the street from my sister in Harvey on Marshfield.
Mm-hmm.
So Bob actually took me would ride me in his little Z280.
Uh-huh.
I used to go to Simeon with Bob to play when I was in 8th grade, just to go up there just to watch. You know what I'm saying? And then I was supposed to go to Simeon, and my mom, after that happened to Benji, she told Bob, no, Bob used to come right outside here. Look, right outside here, and pick me up right there in that little car, man. Take me to the city, and that's when I start as an eighth grader going to the city and play.
And they used to talk about Cox doing that, and he was doing that too on the low.
That little bitty ass car though. Hamburg had that little Z4. What was it?
It don't matter. He was picking them up.
Yeah. It was me and somebody else would be in that car. My man, he's a cop now.
Mark Bradley,
bro. We would be in that little car like this, going to Syria.
Now we hear the story, the true story. You know,
old Hamburg was picking people up out there.
Man, they used to say, "Cox, man, drive y'all all over the city, taking y'all there." Man, I knew coaches did that. You know, it's just people like what we just talking about. They want to see great people fall, you know. So when Cox was doing his thing, they wanted to see King fall, man.
Yeah, and that's just and Hamburg did the same thing. He saw me playing as a young kid, and he was like, "Hey, you can play. You got to keep working, and I want you to come play against these city guys." Like, okay, you know, because I used to always be in Harvey at my sister's house, and we'd be outside playing, and Bob's house was in the middle of the block, so we used to always run down with the ball, hooping.
So he can see you.
Yeah. You didn't know who he was, but then he started coming around because he stayed like it was a block away from Ingalls Hospital. So Ingalls Hospital had Emerson Park right there behind it. Emerson Park had full courts. So that's where everybody from Harvey, the Duckworths, the Thick Pens, everybody used to ball right there at Emerson Park. And that's when Hamburg first saw me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful.
And then, to add to that, though, you think about it back then, though, the coaches was like father figures, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Back then. They really, really, really cared about the kids. I ain't saying these coaches don't now, but man,
it's
they were
hard.
more involved in our lives.
It's hard for coaches to do it now because of the violence. Now, the violence is like crazy right now. So I think that's the problem. I don't think the coaches don't want to do it. They want to do it, but the streets is nasty right now, man. It's not like it used to be when we were playing.
I was just about to say that, Doc, because now you got these young kids now. If you see a prominent coach, he was getting love back then.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Because they knew he was coming to recruit a kid out that area to take him to better himself, to better that kid. Now these young kids see a coach, oh man, let's stick him up.
Mm-hmm. I wish it wasn't like that.
You know, times has changed, brother. Because Rocky Hill was a coach, for instance, out here in the suburbs that took a lot of suburban kids whose mother was working all the time, didn't have a father figure. He became that father figure to us. And he was taking us all in his little Buick. He would take 7 people down to University of Michigan to the basketball camp because he was working there. Go to Illinois camp, you know.
We got to get Rocky. Is Rocky still around?
Yeah, Rocky's still around, bro.
We got to get Rocky on. We got to get Rocky on the show, man. So if you got a number on him or something, man, call him. Yep. Let's get Rocky on the show because Rocky touched a lot of people, man.
Yes,
and we would love to have Rocky on the show. Bob, so you see that? How did you do in LA with your son, man? I know you took him out to a showcase, HBCU showcase.
Oh man, they got out, man. But most of all, I was mostly impressed with my youngest son, Kobe, who's 19. I'll tell you, man. The kid was born to play basketball. Similar nature to what Sam Mack saying about his son. Certain people, they just got it, man.
Yeah.
And what I love so much about my son, Kobe, he loves to talk to the crowd. He loves to talk to the players. He loves to talk to the coaches. He just loves to talk the whole game. And he talks so much trash. He was backing it up. So I'm very impressed with Kobe. I just got to find him somewhere to go at this point. A lot of buckets on this show. Fred Cleveland, what's up, baby boy? How you doing,
Fred?
man?
Fred, what up, baby?
Fred,
Just take the ball out and give it to them, Fred Cleveland, man, because these boys right here get numbers over
Fred is like George Foreman. All these Freds coming around here, man, playing ball. Fred Cleveland 1, Fred Cleveland 2. No, I'm just joking. That's my man, Fred. They tell me that young one is going to be the one, though, man. That's what I've been hearing. His younger son is going to be the
he got
one.
his sons doing their thing, man.
Devin Nice.
Yeah, but you know what also that I when I do talk to Fred to get an opportunity or get it through Emmett, because that's, he talks to Emmett more than he talks to me, but he just want his kids to get an education, man. He don't, after that, he's like, man, it's whatever, if it's NBA or overseas, whatever, he just want to make sure that they get that education, man. And that's what I think a lot of parents should be shooting for. But instead, since there's so much money being tossed around, everybody's saying, my son gonna make it. I see it. I got that lottery ticket. I got it.
That lottery ticket.
Yeah, man, you can't cash it. You can't cash yet,
That's just like this NIL, man. They was talking all that NIL stuff, man, with these kids, man, getting all these kids' hopes up. And when it's only really 2 states that really offer NIL, and it's only a few schools, all this other stuff, these kids getting promised this NIL, and that's just for the brokers who do that. They getting all the money. The kids ain't left with nothing.
Right. Hold on. You said it's only 2 states that's doing the NIL?
Yeah, really. It's really, I think it's
California
and Arizona, maybe. Or Oklahoma,
I know Texas not doing it yet, and Florida's not doing it yet.
Yeah, but all these coaches are telling these kids that are promising them, oh, you get an NIL, this and that, but your states ain't even offering it. And that's
but I thought it was universal. Those, I'm sorry, Sam, my bad. I thought it was universal. I thought everybody get NIL. I mean, they had an option to have it.
I would have to. I can't answer that, but I'll have to look into that, Bob. But I think we should talk about that on our next show.
Man.
Yeah, but because I mean, even with my son Sebastian, they was talking NIL and all this, and then come to find out that school got a broker, and the broker is out of state, and then so now that money is supposed to be the kids, but the broker taking the portion of that money.
So it's a new hustle. That's the new hustle.
That's the new hustle.
Yeah, that's the new hustle right there. That's the new
Latina Davis. Hey, new fan of the show. I will stay tuned, just showing my face. What days y'all show come on? Wednesdays at noon, Latina Davis. And thanks for watching.
That's Central Standard Time too.
Central Standard Time.
So appreciate you finding us. Yeah, and Kevin Haywood says it's up to the university research department to answer everybody questions, meaning if they can talk to whoever they can do business with. So okay. I think the schools still have to do their job in understanding this. But Kevin Haywood is our guy. He's always on it. So this is what he said.
States that do the NIL with more lucrative deals like California and Arizona, but every state does it. Right. But remember LA was going to do it anyway. LA, the governor there said, hey, we finna start paying these kids. And that's when the NCAA said, we can't get behind the 8 ball. We're going to join. Because they were going to start in 2023. The NCAA said, nah, we're going to start right now.
Okay, but my thing is this. If they're going to do it, why don't they make it available for everybody, not just pick? Let's get a pot of money. And all these athletes, everybody divide their money like that.
I agree.
Because what you're doing now, you're making it like Bronny. He getting 12.1 million, and then you got somebody else that's getting 7 million, and then all the basketball players that's coming out this year that's getting all the money.
Right.
The top 2 basketball players is getting money. What about the other basketball players that's going in too? That they've been told they're gonna get some NIL money or whatever, or you can get some and you don't. Because there's a lot of players that's in college this year that were freshmen. I mean, that were incoming freshmen, and they were promised money, and now they like, oh, I ain't getting no money. They complaining. They complain to Sebastian. Oh man, don't listen to them. I ain't getting no money. It's all lied. They lied to her.
But you can go out there and seek it, right? You can go out there and seek the money.
That's what I was thinking. You can go out and seek it, but you have to have a big enough following for them to give it to you now.
Oh,
yeah, because nobody don't want to do. They don't want to do deals with people that can't help market their brand, right? So you got to have a huge following that if I attach my brand to, that you once you wear a T-shirt or whatever it may be, and you support it and you send it out on your social media to millions of followers. Guess what? At least, not I would say at least 3/3 or a fourth of those people are going to probably, purchase our stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the million people all million of them, but some of those people going to buy the product, right? So I think that's what they're looking at, people who try to get the kids to do that, but it's high school kids doing it. Mikey Williams got a million followers.
Yeah,
and he's been having that for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
That he's been making he's making 6 figures easy.
Yeah.
So
I
man.
saw they started.
Bronny need to get that money back. His daddy already caked up. He need to get that money provided.
You need to let all them boys on that team feel some of that money, man.
And he probably do. I mean, we don't know, but he probably do. But
what do you think about? Let me ask you guys this: what do you think about Bronny as a talent?
I don't think he's ready for the NBA.
I agree.
Are they saying
he still
that?
He has a long way to go.
Are they saying that? I didn't hear that.
I think he got a long way to go.
I'm saying, did they say he's going to the NBA, or are they saying he's just waiting to make a decision?
Well, he's waiting to make a decision, but they're saying that he could play in the NBA, and I'm like, shit, no.
Well, if let's reverse it, right? Let's say that was your son, Bob, Bronny. Do you think he gets all of the stuff that he's getting now?
No.
If that was your son, right? Is it because it's LeBron James' son that Nike's doing things and he's getting this done? I mean, he's got a shoe deal, a Nike shoe deal. He's played with the USA versus the world team just recently. So he's getting a lot of things, I would say perks.
McDonald's
because of McDonald's All-American. I mean, you have Mikey Williams, who everybody said at one time coming out that he was one of the best guards to come out. He didn't even make it. He didn't even make the McDonald's All-American game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bronny made it. Bronny averaged only 15 points.
Now, to his defense, Bronny, have he put in work? Yes. How he got better each year? Yes. Do I feel that he's getting too much? Yes. I respect the grind that he did and the things that he's working towards, but to say he's ready to make it to the NBA, nah, I don't think he's ready.
I won't call him trash, but he's not that good.
No. Hey, bro, I done seen him. My son played against him and killed him.
That's what I'm saying.
But I understand he travels with an entourage at a young age. They got the cameras following him during the summer, all that. So he's coming with a fanfare that people but then
that word nepotism. I Fred, good way to pull it up. I was just gonna say that.
When you get on that court, you gotta produce, or else them other dogs coming for you.
But why is it that just because he's LeBron James' son, that it's automatically given to him? Automatically.
Well, and I don't know, Liv. I don't know, because I don't know if I'm old school, but every player that I talk to that's been in the league that have played with us as part of this fraternity, and we ain't knocking Bron, but he got to work a little harder to get what they giving him. You know what I'm saying? Right now it's not deserving yet. You know what I'm saying? It's deserving for his father, but he's not deserving of all the accolades that he's getting. Can he be that way? Yes, he can, because the kid puts in hard work. Mm-hmm. I've watched him since we've been in Las Vegas for the last 4 years. Actually, yeah, since his freshman year when him and Sebastian started playing against each other. So I've watched his growth and I watched his game.
So what the NBA and a lot of other leagues are doing now? They're doing specialties, right? What is he special? What is he special in? Can any one of you guys tell me what LeBron James' son is special in? Is it his defense? Right? Is it he can hit the open shot? Is he a shooter? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I want to know what is his special.
I'm gonna go back to what you were saying, though, Liv. Sorry, Mac, is the fact that the NBA is becoming big business, and it's all about money, and it's all about selling merchandising.
Yep.
Just like the McDonald's game, they had the guy shoot the long 3 balls. He going to do these YouTubers, man. It's all about the social media, man.
That boy that's going to Duke, that point guard, that light-skinned dude. Hey, when he sees Sebastian, he always he come up with an injury. Sebastian give it to him all the time.
Who's this? The one that shoot the threes, right?
Yeah. Old boy that went to Prolific, I think, that's going to Duke. They point guard. He going there this year. Hey, bro, he got the little hair.
Yeah.
He don't want to see. He don't want to see Sebastian.
Oh no.
He tell Mama, get in the car. Mama, get in the car. Let's go. that boy here. He here.
Hey, what I love about Sebastian, I'm not just saying this because he's my son, but when he accepts the challenge, bro. And Doc, that's just like how we was coming up. When we knew we was playing against somebody, we finna, hey. When you see that in a kid, and that's rare. And he was working out an Impact this summer, playing with the pros, Liv. Yeah. Because you told me to get him in the Impact, my brother. I got him in the Impact. Well, they accepted him already because hey, bro, they love him. They was like, this kid is fearless.
Is this the kid you was talking about, your son?
Yeah.
That's it right there.
Mac talking about Jared McCain, right?
Yeah, McCain, he sees Sebastian, he go the other way.
Wow.
Hey, you can ask anybody on the West Coast. That boy go the other way. He don't even want to, he come up with an injury or whatever. Sebastian.
That boy got the one they just posted, he got 6 million followers.
Yeah.
Because the lady made the comment that was interviewing him. So you're going to bring all those followers over there to Duke with you, huh?
Yeah. So think about this, guys. And I think this is where we sometimes fail, right? Because we believe in the old school method, man. If you good, they're going to find you. Mm-hmm. But this generation, you have to have a lot of followers.
Yep.
I'm telling you, man, like I messed up with my nephew, Javon. I was like, man, no, man, I ain't doing that, man. We ain't doing that. We gonna keep grinding. You gonna be all right. And you see what happened. The kid got overlooked so much, man. He had to go to a mid-major school, right? Mm-hmm. But if he'd had all those followers and we posting all his workouts and we doing this and that, every movement he makes, we posting. That's the generation we living in now.
Yeah, social media.
But the kids got to be willing to do that, be a part of that process.
Yeah, but some kids are shy. Javon is shy. That's what I said.
The same way. Sebastian the same way. He don't want me to post nothing. He don't want like his brother, like Big Junior, Sam Jr. He's in the photography and all that, the media thing. So he been going to get Sebastian workout. Let's get it out there because Sam Jr. understands the power of the social media now. But Sebastian, like, man, I don't want to do it. Just let me put in this work.
You got to do it, though, Sam. You got to do it. Do it, man. Start building up his following, man, and watch what happens, man. And because Where we at now, man, that's what it is, you know. And
look, I was finna do some. I was thinking on your level, like I just did I went to Mark Wahlberg's opening of thing. I've been knowing Donnie.
I saw that. I saw that.
So Marky was like, "Hey, he just moved to Vegas from Brentwood, right down the street from UCLA. So he was like, bring Sebastian here. I'm finna get his followers up and all this. And let him up. Let Mick Cronin. He was finna do a straight personal video to Mick Cronin. Hey Mick, you got a young killer coming in. You know what Sebastian did? No, I said, man, Mark Wahlberg got over 20 million followers, brother.
Man, you better jump on it.
I was trying to tell Sebastian that he didn't want to do it. So then I said, Mark, he didn't want to come. So Sebastian missed the dinner. So Mark said, well, just bring him to the workout. We do some weights in the morning because Mark work out every morning at 4. So he like, bring Sebastian here, man. I want to pub him up, Sam, man, because shit, I know you, you know what I'm saying? When I played for the New Haven Skyhawks, you know how you leave college and you go to the USBL before the draft live? Mm-hmm. So that's how I met Donnie and Donnie. Well, not Mark at the time. I met his brother Donnie because he was the ball boy for the New Haven Skyhawks.
Wow.
Ever since then, we have always been cool. And they invited me to their new grand opening in Vegas. And then I told him about Sebastian. He's like, oh, man, I'm big in LA. I said, I know, shit, you're a movie. You're an A-lister. But Sebastian don't want that. He don't want that notoriety. For some reason. I don't know why, but knowing that'll get his that NIL up.
Yeah. Let's end on this one, that last one.
All right. Liberty, a question. Did Javon feel the pressure of being your nephew and some may compare him to you? I never heard you address that. And same with Sam Mack. Do your son feel the pressure of being your son?
No. Yeah, go ahead. You actually okay. I'll answer it first, and then you chime in. Then we'll end it. No, Javon never. Actually, Javon just knew me as Uncle Mark. That was it. It wasn't until he started really hooping, and people started saying, man, you don't know how cold your uncle was. You don't know how cold your uncle was. So Javon really didn't know that I was that dude back in the day. He just knew me as Uncle Mark, so the pressure was never on him. And then when he got older and he was like, man, my uncle was somebody. So I want to follow in his footsteps, but I also want to learn from him. So I'm constantly feeding him things, like giving him information, and he's taking it in. And then he's making it his own, So no, it's no pressure. He never felt any pressure. He's just being the best, Javon. He's been the best version of himself, not me.
Well, on me, it's a little different because that's his nephew compared to my son, Sebastian. So it's a little different. Like with Sebastian, he feels a little pressure because everybody say, oh, your dad was a shooter, this and that. Can you shoot it like your dad? He's always getting that, even from the former pros when they look at him. They're, oh, man, your son going to be good. But then they start talking to him. He's like, man, Dad, I always talk about you. I'm like, right. But they just only think because I played with them. That's what I try to explain to Sebastian. But I tell him, you your own person, you your own athlete, you are Sebastian. That's what they're gonna know you as. Because one, you're better than me. You can handle better than me. You can defense, you can rebound. You are all around player. That's what my job is, to make you better than I was. And but in doing that, that's where I told you, Mark, we had those conflicts because I'm trying to give him the tools to get ahead. So when he get to college, coaches be like, oh, he already understand this. I ain't got to teach him this. So let's go to the next level instead. That coaching phase in college, they want to teach you pick and roll and everything. Where now I'm trying to get him, like, since the season been over with. And I'm glad Boogie stepped in again because Boogie teaching them the same pick and roll. Now, everything that I was telling them, you got to learn this pick and roll game for the next level. I'm so grateful that he's working out with Boogie and Boogie teaching him that it's like, man, I got somebody else that's played
Right.
in the level, at the highest level. He gonna give you what I want to give you, so we can't be at odds, and you be mad at me.
Hey, because coming from somebody else though, Mac, it's like they never heard it. But coming from their dad, it's like, Dad, man, okay, Dad. So
Yeah.
sometimes you have to bring another voice in, man, for these kids, man.
Yeah.
Well, it's like what Sam said earlier, though, and you have to know how to separate the two. Sam is his father, but Sam also want to give him that information. So he's looking at it like, Dad, be my dad, just be my dad, and we'll figure it out. And you, Sam, you got that, like, man, I want you to get it now, so I'm gonna keep telling you this. And then he's like, no, be my dad, right? So now when he hears from Boogie, it ain't doing nothing but resurrecting in his mind again that, this is what my dad was telling me.
And then he come back. Now he come back when we eat. Now he's like, hey, we worked on that pick and roll, and I'm like, okay, all right. Now he want to ask me questions, and now I could give it to him when he asked me instead of me trying to enforce it on him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, that's
beautiful, and that make a whole difference. Not when he go to work out, when somebody talking to him or they bring up my name, he's not like, oh damn anymore. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my dad played. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he with it. But before it was like, he don't want to hear about me, and I'm trying to coach him also. You know what I'm saying? When people come in, that was too much for him. And
that's hard, man. Coaching your sons, that's one of the hardest things in the world to do.
So again, man, tell some of our listeners again, man, where to find them. Sebastian.
It's Sebastian. His instant IG is, he got a couple of them.
So if they push up Sebastian Mac, or it would pop up?
They can just look up Sebastian Mac, and all this stuff will come up. It's Baz Mac, something else. Then it's S_Mac 21 something, man.
Right. So they can go follow him. He's going to UCLA. He's going. Hey, I can't watch this. I can't wait to see him play. I'm going to some games, Sam. I'm letting you know that now. So we're gonna be in the building.
Doc, he respect you, bro. He respects you, man.
Yeah. So
all both my kids do.
Yeah, man. So I'll definitely be in the building watching little fella do his thing, man. And you too, Bob. Shout out to your kids, man. What they doing? What's their IGs? If you got it.
I don't know the boys' IG, man, but my boys, Colin, Kobe, and Jordan, man, my boys, man, they still hooping, they still chasing the dream, man. Of course, Jay got his degree, but he finna go to Brazil in July. But I just want them. I'm like anybody else, man. I want my kids to get an education, man. Hey. Basketball, you can't play that shit forever. That's for sure.
Man, look, my oldest, Sam Jr., which I thought he was going to be the one to make it, he just got his degree in psychology in December.
Whoa, good stuff.
Oh, yeah. And he's still dabbling around in ball, but he realized that, hey, it's more than just basketball out here. He's taking the business world and try to grab it by the balls, man. He's doing his thing, man. So that's what I'm most proud of him than that, because he has diabetes, and sometimes we try to force some things on your kid, but you can't do that. So me just letting him figure it out, and he came to me and was like, "Hey, Dad, I love basketball, but this ain't it because of my condition." And that was more so the hardest thing for me. But I thought it was going to be harder for him, but that was his maturation process. And that's what made me love him even more, because, man, you realize that you can't put out, it take hard work to play this game at a high level. And for you to realize that you can't do that, and you willing to step back and pour into your little brother to push him, hey, man, that right there made it enough for me.
That's beautiful, man.
It is beautiful, man, and shout out to Leslie too, man. We can't
Oh
leave
yeah,
her out, man. She did a great job with the
man.
boys too, man.
My queen
So
did a thing, man. My queen
yeah,
did a
man,
thing.
yeah. So shout out to her. I know she'll love to hear that. Oh yeah, they gave me a shout out. Okay, yeah. So make sure you let her know, man. We shouted her out too,
All
man.
right. For sure.
Yeah, man. Bobby, your boy Bobby Smith was on here, man. He was like, man, great show. Fred Cleveland, thanks, man, for tuning in. There go Bobby Smith right there.
Yeah, Bob.
Is that shake and bake, Bobby Smith?
Man, ears, Jack.
Ears. Hey, Bobby Smith, man. Before we go, man, because I like to talk, man, about certain people, but Bobby Smith, man, was one of those point guards, man, that you didn't want to see. You didn't want to see on the court because he's going to be tough. He's going to be tough on defense, and he's going to give you some buckets. You know,
Big
like,
facts.
not
Which
no
Bobby
buckets.
Smith is this though? I know.
With the
one,
Rich
too.
Central.
The Rich Central.
And what college did he go to?
We call him ears because he gonna pick you up full court and he gonna rip you and he gonna throw the lobs to you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What
Bobby
school did he
Smith.
go to though after that?
Or Roberts.
Okay.
Yeah, Bobby Smith was a
Left-handed.
man. Bobby Smith was the
The
real
Bergman
deal.
legend, baby. With
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got to give him a shout out. And he was on that show too. What was that show when they came back and fixed up the restaurants? I can't think of the name of it, but Bob was on the show, man. He was the manager of one of the restaurants when the guy came back. I think they still show it on television, man, where they come back and reinvent the restaurant. And he was the manager. It was funny, man, seeing Bobby. Man, go bar rescue. He just
Bar
put it
rescue.
up there.
Oh,
Bobby was on bar
rescue.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's my brother, man. I love Bobby Smith, man. Me
Yo.
and Bobby hung out a lot, man. So big shout out to you, Bobby. We got to get you on the show too, Bobby, man.
Hey, what about the young lady Destiny Harden from Chicago that declared herself for the draft for the WNBA? Played for Miami.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, man. If I'm not mistaken, I think she went to Finger High School or something like that and ended up going to play for the University of Miami, and she put her name in the draft. Chicago born and bred.
Good luck.
Did she get drafted? Did she get drafted?
Yeah.
Because the draft was just recently. Did she get drafted?
Let me see who she got drafted to.
Well, big shout out to her, man.
Big shout out. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I want to drop this, man. We got a deal, man, we're working on right now, man, to be able to come out here and Sam Mack and guys like Marcus Liberty and all these great athletes from Chicago to do their own documentaries, man. So Liv gonna drop his, Sam Mack, they gonna drop theirs, because these guys got great stories, man. Coming from the projects, growing up in them streets and doing all the stuff y'all did, I think the world needs to know, man. So let's go. Let's go. It's been a long time coming, boy.
Hey, boy, bro, my brothers right here, y'all started this before a couple years ago. You've been working on this, Bob, for a long time.
Hell yeah, at least 15 years, man.
Yeah.
On and off, right?
That little segment that we shot back then behind
I still got that.
We need to expound on that because that's definitely going in my document because I got something to tell.
Yeah, man. I still got that footage, man. Hey, that was dope, boy.
Yes, sir.
That's when I first met both of y'all, man.
Yep.
Here's the young lady you was talking about.
Destiny got drafted 3rd round and she went to Morgan Park. Okay, that is Moody. What's up, Dad? Moody. That is Moody was my big man in elementary school, man. When I went to grammar school, he was the big man in school.
Everybody know what that is, man. So
that's my man.
But that's how Chicago is too, man. If you're a hooper, you're a hooper, man. So no matter if you didn't take it further or whatever, you still a hooper. So much love to Chicago hoopers, man. Shout out to all Chicago hoopers. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and end, Bob.
Well, man, we want to thank y'all for watching On Ball Chicago. I'm your co-host, Robert Bobby Reed, and I got 2 legends. I got 2 NBA veterans. I got one of the greatest basketball players, Sam Mack and Marcus Liberty. What y'all boys finna be on, man?
Man. Chilling, man. About to go work out some kids, so staying involved with the youth, man. So that's what I'm on, man.
Well, I appreciate this big Italian beef, man. I'm up out of here.
All right. Well, I appreciate you, Sam, man. As always, nothing but love, my brother, man. And keep doing what you do. And tell Sebastian, man, to holler at me sometime, man.
Hey, Mac, and I'm gonna hit you up too, man. I'm gonna hit you back up, man, later on because we're supposed to get together tomorrow while you still here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll be here all week, man. You know, I'm here with the family, my moms and my daughter, my sisters and them, man. It's good to be back home. It's good to be home, to be around good brothers.
Yes.
You know, you got to always come home to get that old school love from your family, you know?
Facts.
Yes,
Tell
indeed.
everybody we at All Ball Chicago said, what's up? We love the Mac family. Y'all keep doing what you do.
Hey, look, I got to bring one lady on right quick for y'all. My
Mama
queen, my mother.
What up, guys?
Hey.
91 on Friday.
91 on Friday. Wow.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Last Friday, she made 91.
Well, happy
91.
birthday. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, I remember Marcus.
Yeah.
Well, they might not remember me, and
Well, I'm gonna come over there.
Page, you can't see good.
I'm gonna come over there.
You guys.
Yeah.
Nice seeing you too, Mama. 91.
Yes. 91. That's beautiful, Sam, man.
Yes,
And,
that is, man.
yeah. So happy birthday to Mama Mac, man, and continue.
Thanks for coming on short notice, Mac.
Man, anytime I've been saying I was gonna come with y'all, man, before, but you know, I've been out of town and moving around working and you know, with this business and everything. So it's glad to be on with my brothers, man. And anytime, man, I can support y'all, I will do that.
For sure.
Y'all definitely supported me, and we supported each other,
man.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Sam, you go do what you got to do, spending time with your family. Bob, go eat your Italian beef. I'm gonna go work these shorties out and dip it. Get both hot peppers too, Bob.
Excellent, man. Jordan there, baby. Peace.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank y'all for watching.
Chicago, oh, Chi-town, oh, Chicago.